Describe a positive change that you have made in your daily life recently.
I'm going to talk about my new habit of going to bed early and getting up early every day, which is a big change from my old routine. I decided to make this change just a few months ago because my health was starting to decline. I'd been a night owl for years and my body began to show some negative effects. I had a lot of pimples, I often forgot things, and I found it hard to focus for long periods. On top of that, I always felt drained and a bit grumpy in the morning. That's when it hit me that I really needed to change and make an effort to stick with it. But honestly, when it comes to breaking a long-standing habit, it's not as easy as it sounds. I remember in the first week, I kept falling back into my old routine of staying up late, and I had to fight a mental battle just to get out of bed on time without hitting the snooze button. As a result, I felt extremely sleepy and sluggish and needed a caffeine boost to get through the day. But after about 3 weeks of consistent effort, it finally became a habit. Needless to say, I was absolutely stoked because I always thought I was naturally a night person and couldn't change that. Now I go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake up at 5:30 almost every day, which is a huge improvement. Thanks to that, I have more time during the day and my productivity has improved a lot. I get more work done and just feel more alive overall. I guess in the future, I'll try to break other bad habits so I can become even more productive.
Why do people want to change their routines?
As someone who has done that several times before, I think one of the main reasons is that people find their routines unhealthy. For example, they may have a habit of staying up late and it's kind of taking a toll on their overall health, so they feel the need to change. Another major reason is related to productivity. Maybe they waste a lot of time on unimportant things and they want to improve themselves, so they're determined to adjust their routine. Yeah, those are the two main reasons I can think of for now.
Is it difficult to change daily habits?
Well, I don't know about others, but for me, it can be quite hard to change daily habits, especially when it comes to habits you have had for years. Once something becomes part of your daily routine, it's really challenging to break out of it, even if you know it's not good for you. Take me, for example. I've been trying to cut down on my screen time lately, but I still catch myself, mindlessly scrolling on my phone without even realizing it. And afterwards, I kind of feel guilty, like I should have been doing something more productive instead.
Do young people change their routines more often?
Well, yeah, I'd say so. Young people are still at a stage where they're trying to figure things out, so their routines are naturally more flexible. They tend to try out different lifestyles or habits just to see what suits them best. Plus, they're easily influenced by trends or social media, so it's quite common for them to adjust their routines from time to time based on what they see online. By contrast, older people usually have more responsibilities, so they prefer to stick to a stable routine.
What motivates people to make positive changes?
Well, I suppose there are quite a few factors, but one of the main ones is probably exposure to inspirational content. People might come across it in books, online articles, or on social media, and it can give them a strong boost of motivation to take action right away. That said, this kind of motivation is often short-lived and tends to fade after a while. Another big factor is peer pressure and the desire to keep up with others. When people see those around them, especially someone their age, achieving something in life, they are more likely to push themselves to do better. And sometimes the motivation just comes from within. People simply want to improve their lives.
How long does it take to form a new habit?
I don't think there's a fixed answer to that. It really depends on the person and the habit itself. Some habits are easier to pick up, like drinking more water, while others, like waking up early, take more discipline and effort. But for the most part, I'd say it can take a few weeks to a couple of months for a new habit to really stick, especially if people stay consistent with it.
Can small changes make a big difference?
Yeah, definitely. Many people assume that only big changes bring great results, but for me, it's the small steps that really go a long way. A lot of the time, when it comes to building a new habit, the idea of having to start big actually stops people from taking action. I mean, you can't expect a smoker to quit cold turkey, right? They usually have to gradually cut down on the number of cigarettes they smoke each day, and over time, that can lead to a significant change in their behavior. So, in many cases, it's the small, consistent changes that lead to long-term results.